never seen this kind of love before. I've never seen this kind.
My name is Owanso Bethel. I'm the founder of BFL, Betty Fashions label, and I also run a ladies foundation called Ladies Empire. I am on the spotlight of peculiar moments, and this is my love story. Years back, I experienced a major failure in life as an undergraduate. I wasn't able to graduate when my mates were leaving school. And you know what it feels like when everybody's parents are rejoicing and talking about what their words coming out from school with. I couldn't go home. I couldn't bring myself to going back to the house. I couldn't even tell anybody about it. For one good year, I stayed out of the family. I didn't talk to anybody. Got to a time I even wanted to take my life. I even hit rock bottom. There was nobody I trusted to tell what I was going through. I had mentors around me, had pastors around me. I couldn't just tell them because I couldn't imagine even what they would imagine of me. But along the line, because I was taking care of myself, there was nobody there I could even meet or tell for anything finance. I had to tell myself that if I continue like this, I'll end up doing the wrong things. So one of those nights, when I was crying on my bed and all that, I talked to myself, because that period I had a lot of temptations around me that I could have even yielded and said yes to, but I knew I was worth more. I knew this was a fight, because I got to say that it was a fall of life. It was not part of me. It was not what made me. I had to come out of my shell because I isolated from people. I stopped going to church at the time. I didn't want to hear anything. I stopped going to some of the places I got to learn the word. I just stayed off home myself and all that because my dad did not want to sing. I was alone, all by myself. But I asked myself, if I continue like this, I'll end up doing the wrong thing. So I talked to myself, what was the things I loved to do most? I loved fashion. I loved impacting into the life of people. I loved training people for free. So I had to go. I learned a craft, and from that, it took me some months, and after then, I started organizing trainings. When my parents started seeing what I was doing, they wondered. That was when my dad, he was just sharing about it because he was seeing a lot of them on Facebook. I didn't blame them because it was my mistake and I needed to deal with it. At the time, I started going back to God because it was like as if I've not talked to him for a very long time. I had to go to him. I had to start back the things that I loved again. I had to start going back to church and all. I love it. Now, the person that I've become in this process is what matters most to me, because instead of killing myself, telling myself how worst of a person I am, how much of a failure that I am, I had to get up on my feet. I saw it like a fight, but at first it was as if I was going to yield to the temptations of life I was facing, because I was doing it on my own, all on my own. I was thinking I was fighting a fight for myself, but with time I had to cast all my cares on Jesus, because I knew on my own I could not survive it. There were a lot of struggles, and imagine as a girl staying out of the house, just you have to fend for yourself, a lot of things. But I went back to God's word. I remember that I am a royal priesthood, a peculiar person. I didn't have to yield to the temptations of life I was facing through that moment. I had to go back to school. I started all over again. A lot of my friends don't know these stories about me. A lot of people do not know that I went through this kind of thing, this kind of pain. But right now, today, the story is different. I went back. I did not give up. No matter what you're going through, whatever it is, you might fall, but that's not the end of life. You have to go back. You're not going back because you want to prove to people that you can do it, but because you want to prove yourself right, that you can do this thing for yourself, for your unborn children, and for your generation today. My story, it's like something that I've used. Now I can tell people who have gone through the same failure or who are going through the same failure that they should not give up, no matter what it is, that they can make it and they can come out of it. They can be strong no matter what, and they can surpass the storms of life. Today, everything is different for me because I came out with distinctions, and right now, I'm not just someone with a certificate, but someone who has my own business running and other couples of business around me. I still do my trainings, and today the story is different because I did not give up, because I depended on Jesus Christ as my source. And right now, I'm not just like every normal girl. The definition of life for me has changed. It is different. I did not blame people for my situation. I took responsibility, full responsibility, and today I am a better person. I just give God the glory for where I am today.
His love is perfect and His love is endless, always fighting for me. I need a kind of love that can outlast the night. I need a kind of love that is willing to fight when the going gets tough and my strength's not enough. I see you showing up like never before. This battle for my heart, you took on from the start. You are the peace when my mind's at war. And oh, you would never stop fighting for me when I can't fight for myself. Every word is a promise you keep, 'cause you love me like nobody else. You stand up for me in the darkest night when my faith is weak. You're still by my side. You will never stop fighting for me. You would never stop fighting for me. In the perfect timing, you've made all things right. That's what you've done. You paint a silver lining in this heart of mine. When the going gets tough and my strength's not enough, I see you showing up like never before. This battle for my heart, you took on from the start. You are the peace when my mind's out of war. And oh, you will never stop fighting for me when I can't fight for myself. Every word is a promise you keep, 'cause you love me like nobody else. You stand up for me in the darkest night when my faith is weak. You still by my side.